They had deployed a keylogger, which means every keystroke was being logged. So they had access to the bank accounts. So what they did was they went in and they paid the doctor, except for it went to their bank account.
They changed the bank account for the money to go to the hacker?
Right.
Oh my gosh.
So,
hey everyone, welcome to the Dental Office Managers Community Podcast, where we talk about the issues that matter most and help us to become better leaders in our dental practice. I'm your host, Kyle Summerford. Let's dive right in.
Hey guys, it's Kyle Summerford here, and today we have Debi Carr. Hey Debi, how you doing?
Hey Kyle, how are you?
Good. It's great to see you again.
Great to see you in person.
In person.
It's
yeah.
great.
Yeah. So we have done a webinar together in the community that was pre-recorded, and today we are live from Austin, Texas. So how are you enjoying your time out here?
It's wonderful. It's so great. It's a great meeting.
Is it your first time to
no.
Austin?
Oh, to Austin? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Me too. Me too.
So it's definitely an experience. I hope to go, like do a little sightseeing and
get some fresh air.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. Get some vitamin D and figure out what's happening in the world out there.
Yeah, I know.
And what Austin's famous for.
Yeah, music, right? I think it's music.
I think it is music.
Yeah, I think they're like the music capital.
It's the Southwest music.
Yeah.
But I understand they also have good barbecue.
I love a good barbecue. Yeah.
So
some brisket.
Go check that out.
Yeah, cool. So I brought you on here today because last time we had the little webinar session and we were talking about cybersecurity, and I learned that you are an expert in cybersecurity.
Try to be.
Sounds like you definitely are.
Try to stay current.
Yeah. So you and I have been kind of having some conversations through Facebook Messenger, and last we spoke, there was a situation that dental office managers should know about.
Yes. So an alert went out. The FBI notified the American Dental Association as well as the Oral Maxillary Association that there was a hacker gang. Hackers usually work in gangs, and that they were targeting initially they were targeting OMS offices. However, a lot of time hackers don't understand the difference between, and the fear is that it will spread out to dentistry. And the reality is the threat patterns that we see right now, dentists consistently continue to be a low hanging fruit. They consistently are a target that is needless. And it's so frustrating for me when I get that call from a dentist that has been compromised, that has been hacked, that it's because I know it's avoidable. I know it's avoidable. And so it's very frustrating.
Yeah, no one wants to get hacked.
Nobody wants to get hacked because people don't realize what's involved when you are hacked. You're not working. You're not producing. You can't see patients. And you can't just say, oh, well, we've been hacked. Oh, our IT is able to restore. Sometimes they are and sometimes they're not. But you have a lot of other things, and nothing is worse than thinking you are clear, nobody knows about it, and your data shows up on the dark web.
Yeah, that's scary. That is scary.
And it's happening.
Oh, boy. So, the alert that was sent out, is that something that we should be more careful, like be on an alert?
Absolutely, because it shows that the hackers know our industry. They know that we'll take their information and we're going to send them the packet. And hackers are getting into the systems by doing social media or social engineering. And this is a new way for them. And so, yes, it is something we need to be very alert about. And so how the process works is that a hacker will call the office and they will schedule an appointment. And you'll say, well, go to our website, or we'll email you the download your new patient packet, and you'll fill out the forms and just return it to us. Well, we're in a caring and helpful industry. Our goal is to help as much as possible. And so when someone calls the practice and says, I'm having problems returning the forms to you, can I just email them to you? Well, okay, as soon as you email them and you open that email, you have introduced that malicious code into your system. And it only takes a few seconds. It can run through a system in less than 45 seconds. And so just downloading another vector that we're seeing is an old vector, but it still gets a lot of use, is an unpaid invoice. Because hackers want to create that fear in you. So they will send you an invoice and say, you haven't paid this invoice. Well, what's your first instinct?
I have to click it and pay the invoice. I owe the money. The office owes the money.
Do you?
I don't know. It appears like I do.
Exactly. They want to create that fear. And so they want to make it seem like this is a past due. Oh, the doctor's going to be very upset if he knows that there's a past due bill. And so it's something that you definitely want to be aware of. If you get an invoice, the invoice should indicate what company it's coming from. You know who you're ordering from. Office managers are very astute, should be, on what their ordering system is. And if there is an outstanding invoice, call them.
Yeah.
Call and see who you owe money to. Don't open links in an email, and don't open attachments in an email.
Yeah.
And a lot of times I've been at conferences where the doctor's email has been compromised, and there'll be a DocuSign form that will go out, and it will say, sign this DocuSign. If you are not doing something that you know is going to require a DocuSign, don't do it. Don't open that email, because it's even though it is from another doctor. Take a few seconds, train your teams to take a few minutes. I was in a practice in New Jersey. New Jersey.
Okay.
And they got an email from a doctor in Kansas City, I think it was. Anyway, we had trained the office manager, and so she called the office, and the office was like, the doctor didn't send anything. I don't know what you're talking. Come to find out, the doctor's email had been compromised, and it had gone out. This email had gone out to all of the New Jersey dentistry and I think Maryland dentistry.
Wow.
And so So we have to train our teams to be very astute, because especially that front desk team that is opening the email.
Yeah. Active on the emails all day long.
And so it's really important that they know how to spot those phishing emails. And with ChatGPT and Bard, it is a lot easier now. We used to say you could look at the email and the English wasn't great, and they were like, well, now, no. Those things have been taken away from us. And so now we have to be very, very alert and very cautious. And hackers know that we are quick to respond, and that we don't pay attention to detail. And that's what they're counting on. And that's their open door.
And I'm sure they're finding those open doors.
Oh, they're finding those open doors.
Yeah.
So
that's interesting. ChatGPT. I didn't even think about that. But yeah, so in the past, a lot of those emails, which I still get sometimes, but not as many, you get the Norton, you bought the subscription. I think everyone knows that one, right?
Right.
you bought a subscription.
McAfee is doing the same thing now.
Oh, really? Okay, McAfee's on. All right.
Google,
Yeah, so you know that one. I mean, that was very common, and I still receive it. But you could tell because the English was a little funny, So ChatGPT comes in. That's all they need to use.
And they're not just using email anymore. They're using our cell phones. You're getting text messages. I got one yesterday that the post office is not able to deliver my package because of an incorrect address. I guarantee the post office knows where I live. I live in a small town. They know me. So think about these things, that they want us to respond to an emergency or something quick. So just take that step back and think, is this legit? Did I really not pay the bill? I tell practices, another call that a lot of practices get is the electric bill hasn't been paid. And I'll tell practices when I'm in them doing a risk analysis, the doctor is going to pay the electric bill before he pays you.
Yeah.
Just the way it is.
Yeah. Yeah, you mentioned the electric bill, so I'll share a story with our audience and you. When I lived in Queens, I had a usual barbershop that I would go to.
Sure.
And I went to go get a haircut, one morning, and I started talking to the barber, and he started telling me about how there was a scam that he didn't realize it was a scam, but he received a phone call from the electric company, and they were threatening him that they were going to shut off the electricity right there at that moment.
Creating fear.
Yeah. Unless he paid like a $2,500 electric bill or something like that. Kind of odd because he said that's about what they pay monthly anyway.
Right.
So it was kind of strange that they had a range.
Right.
Because, if he said it was like $5,000, but meanwhile his electric bill every month is $2,500, that's a little strange. That might be a red flag. But they hit it right on the nose with the amount. And he paid them because he had customers in the shop, So imagine in the dental practice.
Oh, yeah, I know. I've had it happen. I've been called in for those events.
Oh,
Once the money leaves your account, I can't get it back. It's gone. There's no getting it back because I was called into a case where the hacker would blow up the email system with 1,000 emails in 5 minutes, and in that email blast, there was a little notice that said there was an unscheduled payroll in your ADP. What had happened, the threat actor had been in the system for months, and nobody had monitored. It was total chaos. And they had gotten a keylogger. They had deployed a keylogger, which means every keystroke everybody in the system that had been making was being logged. So they had access to the bank accounts and they had access to the ADP, the payroll. Wow. So what they did was they went in and they paid the doctor and the associate doctor $25,000, except for it went to their bank account because they were able to go into ADP and change the bank accounts.
They changed the bank account for the money to go to the hacker?
Right.
Oh my gosh.
So these are things that, we always think of cyber attacks just being ransomware, but the email vector still gives access. And I'm working on a case right now where the hacker has been multiple vectors. They've been in the system for 2 years. So, and they've deployed keyloggers. They know everything about this practice that ever existed. They know who they do business with. They know the bank accounts. They know everything about this practice because they've been monitoring it for 2 years before the last hacker that got in deployed the ransom note.
That is scary.
That's where we are. This is why it's important that we start taking cybersecurity. And I always, my thing is security will bring compliance because the HIPAA security rule is very good foundation. It's a good place to start. And so many practices aren't even there. They don't even know. And you and I've talked about this. They don't really know what steps they need to be taking.
Right. I really appreciate you coming on here.
Thanks for having me.
Bringing the awareness of what's going on because it's kind of scary out there.
I don't want people to be scared because if they're scared, then they don't react. We need to be proactive. We need to be protecting. And you can't protect against what you don't know about. And that's what I'm about. Amy Wood, you got an opportunity to meet her this week. She does the same thing. It's about protecting, not being afraid, but having a plan to protect yourself and your practice.
So being proactive. So that we're not targets.
Correct.
Okay, cool. Well, thanks again for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me.
We'll talk to you soon. Bye, guys.